BTS may be topping the charts with their hit songs, but they aren't the only Korean snack making waves in America. Let's talk about Haitai honey butter chips.
Snacks with Wax.
Usually here on Snacks with Wax, we talk about foods that I'm familiar with based on my American upbringing. However, life is about expanding your horizons, widening your array of interests, adding more colors to the palette of your knowledge. Also, somebody suggested these in the comments. It is much easier to joke about the snacks we already know, though. It's kind of like the new acapella style of battle rapping where you know everything about your opponent going in.
I know for a fact that you can't spit. You did poorly in college. I googled your transcripts.
I would never have you on my song. It'd be a bad feature. I just got off of a Zoom call with your mom and your 8th grade math teacher. She told me you got a D on the test in the 8th grade. I also know from your mom that you failed even when you tried to start a stand for lemonade. By the way, your mom works at the Olive Garden. She tried to charge me for breadsticks. I said, I beg your pardon. Whereas in this episode, we don't know anything about the snack. So we're pretty much just freestyling off the dome about whatever information we can grab on the spot.
You wearing Nike shoes and you're gonna lose.
Yo, your shirt is white. You ain't that tight. Hey, honey butter chips, I'm home. Honey butter chips sounds like a psychotic woman talking to her husband. These things are made by Haitai, which was also the nickname of my buddy Tyler in college. Hello! The yellow bag with the honey, it looks more like it would hold like Ricola cough drops. Looks more like a lozenge satchel than a bag of chips. Which, by the way, doesn't have the same ring to it. You've never heard somebody say, I'm all that in a satchel of lozenges. This looks like some shit Winnie the Pooh would eat. By the way, why did they call him the Pooh? Is it because he didn't wear pants and you just like saw his butthole and were like, hey, look, it's the Pooh. By the way, he's a bear. It shouldn't be weird that he's not wearing pants, but what makes it weird is that he is wearing a shirt. You can be fully nude as a bear, or you can be just pants, no shirt like Smokey the Bear. You can't be just shirt. That's creepy. Damn, Winnie, you losey for that one. Why does this jar of honey look like Sendog from Cypress Hill? See it? There was this hat, you don't see it? Which makes this bee be real. I want to build hives, build hives. Also, why is the bee like directing the honey like a dude that operates a backhoe? You know what I mean? Yeah, drop that honey right down on your chip. This thing right here, I've never seen one of those utensils in real life. Like, you can't buy that at a store, this thing that's used to dip and apply honey. It can only be whittled by an Amish man in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Unless you're a rapper from the 90s, it's quite hard to acquire a honey dip. 100% pure potato. You can tell by the stamp. Each bag is officially notarized by the Korean Board of Potato Purity, which is a subcommittee of the Korean Vegetable Department. I don't know. French gourmet butter. I didn't even know that was a thing. Is that like an official thing? People know about that? French gourmet butter? Comes from French gourmet cows that stand out in the pasture with a cigarette going, meh. A lot of people don't know this, but that's how Mario Lemieux got his name. He was from an Italian family that immigrated to France, and he was a chubby kid, and all the fucking French kids would point at him and go, oh, look, it's Mario Lemieux. Time to eat some honey butter chips. Very puffy bag, you know what I'm saying? Puff baggy. Oh. Damn, they got a lot of strong bags in Korea. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Now, I will say, there's a lot of empty. From here, I can't even see the chips.
Nah, but it's actually not that bad. This is about the standard amount of empty space per bag, I'd say. Like other chips, some of them might have a curly shape, where some of them might be a little bit more straight-laced, but they all have their various, different shapes. They look like different countries of the world, you know what I mean? Just like people, just like animals, they all have their different shapes and sizes. This looks like a good one to start off with. So buttery. It's more buttery than any popcorn. It's more buttery than any microwave popcorn. You know that like fake butter taste that microwave popcorn has? This actually tastes like real butter. You know what? It tastes like French gourmet butter. It tastes like a buttermilk biscuit. It tastes like when you make a grilled cheese and you put all that butter on the fucking thing and then put the bread on there. It tastes like when you're making eggs and you put the butter on the thing. It tastes like anything that has a ton of butter in it. That said, I am a butter fan. You know, you've heard of the butter face? I'm a butter fan. I'm a butter face. Dude, I would recommend this. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like a buttered English muffin. I think it's a lot like an English muffin because the hint of sweet honey actually tastes like something you would put on an English muffin as well.
Maybe a little bit of honey jam or just honey.
The joints are breakfasty, dude. It's a very breakfasty flavor, you know what I mean? It's a morning potato chip. Name another morning potato chip.
Couldn't.
I don't know, maybe that's common in Korea, but here in the States, that market has not been covered yet. We eat hash browns, no? Home fries. Look at all these crumbs I'm getting all over myself. Jesus. Maybe that's why you don't eat it for breakfast. You don't want a crummy food for breakfast because then all day you got chip crumbs all over your crotch and shirt. You know? Maybe with the home fries with the fork, you're less likely to spill it on your work clothes. You know what I mean? You can't have a chip in the morning. A chip's for like, you're at lunch and you're like, I don't give a shit about the rest of the day. We don't care. We don't care. It's lunchtime. You know what I mean? I do like the texture. The texture is very, Utz-like.
They seem light.
I'm fucking with them. It may be from South Korea, but it tastes like South Carolina. You know what I mean? Very southern, very comforting, and I'm very comfortable eating it. Yeah. Would you like some?
It tastes a little chemically to me. After my second one, I'm starting to like it more and more, and I think I'm starting to crave it. And in fact, I think the chemicals might be addictive and have addictive properties. What I don't understand is all this, like, you know, 100% potato and butter and honey, and then it doesn't look like that by the ingredients.
Maybe in Korea they have different false advertising laws and they can just say shit like that whenever they want. Maybe the Korean board on potato purity isn't so pure themselves.
Maybe they take a little, you know, a little bribery. My taste buds are probably just accustomed to it, but I would rather have like sour cream and onion, maybe even salt and vinegar or something like that. They're not bad though.
Speaking of BTS, their two huge hits are called Dynamite and Butter. And I would say that this butter is relatively dynamite in itself. I give these things an 8.5 out of 10.
I'll give you something to talk about, go to a short pier and take a long walk about. You ain't heard shit like my sound yet. In fact, it's more rare than a dry towelette with the numbing effect of a cortisone shot and that feeling of freedom that made the cordless phone hot. Today's snack was recommended by Jacob Bai. Let us know in the comments, what should we review next?